Believe me, let me tell you, I got a story for you because I did something like this. It wasn't in blood, but it was close enough. Alright, so boom. I started talking to this boy my sophomore year of high school. He was one of the few on my roster. I ain't gonna lie, I was talking to like 3 people at the same. But you know, I wasn't being a little thought box. I was just texting other people. I mean, these niggas be doing it, why can't I do it? You know what I'm saying? But I was talking to, you know, a few people. They was friends. Okay, anyway. So then COVID hit or whatever, and then all of the other ones just started trickling away, and then me and this one particular dude just had my main focus on. We started FaceTiming more, talking more, whatever. So we started to pursue each other more. Like, me and him would talk off and on. And I never understood why, because it was always him. Like, he could contact me, we'll text, we'll talk, and then out of nowhere, he'll just ghost. So in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, he most definitely got a girlfriend or something, because where are you? Like, where are you going? You can't just disappear off the face of this earth. Like, what do you do? So finally, I get my car and stuff, and then now he talking to me more. And it's like, all right, now I get to see Michaela, because I ain't gonna lie, I was trapped in the house like Rapunzel. I'm gonna give it to him. I was, so he couldn't really see me. As soon as I got my car, it was a different story. So this is when we start talking more, seeing each other. And then, lo and behold, I find out, of course, he has a whole girlfriend. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm his girlfriend. So it's like, okay, you're cheating on me. What's going on? Mind you, me and him been talking off and on for like a year and a half now. Then I get my car. So now it's making it 2 years. We off and on. But now we can finally be steady because I got my car and I can come see you, right? No. So this is when TikTok first started popping. You know what I'm saying? First started popping, it was just getting in and getting. So I was on TikTok 24/7. And as I'm scrolling on TikTok, of course, like TikTok, everything, your phone just automatically knows when you're going through something because it'll put it right there on your feed. And it's like, who around here listening? So of course I come across this love spell TikTok. So now I'm doing my investigation and I'm looking through. I do, this is around the time me and him are not talking, or like, no, we were talking, but I was barely getting any text messages from him. Like, he'll text me and then won't text me again for another 12 hours. Then it get longer and longer and longer until it's like I'm texting myself at this point. The timestamps was time stamping because it was in between every single message. So like I said, I'm on TikTok and like I'm scrolling and now I see this love spell TikTok. So now I'm doing my investigation. I'm looking into it. I'm like, and I'm checking the comments and everybody, yes, it works, dude. Like, oh my gosh, do it now, blah, 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 blah. So I do it. Just to protect y'all, I'm not going to tell y'all what it was because I don't want nobody ever going through what the hell I went through. That shit was horrible and like, it take over your mental space for real. So I did. Within a day of me doing it, I started getting messages from him. And instead of it being time stamps in between them, he was texting more and more, getting on FaceTime now. So I'm like, whoa, like this is crazy. What is going on? So I'm thinking, okay, he wants me. He wants to be with me. Let's get it, let's go. Now, around this time, I told myself, oh, I'm dating to marry, this, that. But the whole time, I was really dating for validation. Because, like, at this point, if somebody is not pursuing you anymore, what makes you think that you could do a love spell on them and they just automatically want you? Come on now. And I'm a firm believer in what you send out is what you receive in this world. So what goes around comes around. Okay? I'm a firm believer in that. So for me to do something like this is crazy. So now he's texting more, he's calling more, I'm going to see him a little bit more often, all this other stuff, right? So then a situation outbreaks and me and a girl that he's talking to ends up getting into a fight. We end up getting into 2 fights, okay? So then now I'm talking to my dad and he's like, Michaela, like, what is going on with you? Like, this is not you. Like, you've never been the type to fight over a boy. Like, I need to get some type of understanding. Where did the light switch? Where, like, what is it? So I'm sitting there and I'm confused myself because I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm in this situation to begin with. Because if I'm being honest, he's not doing nothing for me besides getting me attention every now and then. Was it really worth it? Like, be for real. So now I'm in my feelings because like I just got into a fight over this boy and I gotta go to school the next day. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, Michaela just got into a fight over a dude, blah, blah, blah. And I never want to go out like that. Like I was going out bad for this boy almost every single other week. Like, it was so crazy. It was just so embarrassing for me to even go to school in general. So then, of course, I stopped talking to him for a while because it's like, dude, like, you really embarrassed me. But I cut him off But it was so hard for me to let him go in my head. Y'all, when I told you that man was in my head, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snack time, middle of the night, in my dreams, all over the place. Every morning I woke up, I had to check his social medias, just see what he was doing. I just want to check and make sure he's okay. Absolutely not. Girl, what? So then it got to the point where he started reaching out, started talking to me. And I'm like, you still with your girlfriend? No, I'm not with her, blah, 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 blah. I knew he was lying. I knew he was lying. But love just had me so blind. I'm like, nah, he ain't gonna do me like that. Like, he already had me going that bad. He ain't gonna have me going that bad again. So as time progresses, he's going distant again. I'm not hearing from him, all this other. So then now I'm starting to get in my feelings. And like at this point, I'm literally begging and I'm like, God, like I don't care if he just sent me a simple dry ass text message. As long as I know I was on his mind for at least 3 seconds out of the day, I am fully satisfied. I'm not over exaggerating. Like I'm being dead ass. If I'm lying, I'm dying right now. That's how deep I was into this. At the moment, it didn't sound delusional to me. At the moment, it was like something like coming from the heart. And I could not understand what was going on with me. So eventually, I move out and I go move into my own apartment. And of course, he's over there every now and then. But in that process of, you know, him not talking to me, I was talking to someone else. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really feeling him, like for real. But I was just so tied to this boy. Even though I knew he was no good for me, he could not do anything for me. Like he wasn't in a good mental space. I'm already not in a good mental space. I know for sure he don't want only me. He want his cake and he want to eat it too. So I end up just cutting the other boy off. Because I'm like, I want to be with him. This one I want. Not knowing that this spell had my head solely on him. Like, I wanted to leave him alone so much, but my heart just would not let me. And it just seemed like I did the spell on myself. One day I was sitting back and I'm like, man, like, this kind of like backfired on me because I can't get him out of my head. I knew it backfired on me when I started begging on my knees for him to stay with me. Y'all, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I literally begged this boy on my knees, my bare knees, literally, to stay with me. Like saying this shit out loud is so embarrassing, but this is my truth. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to let y'all know, don't do that shit. That shit nothing to play with, for real. It even came to a point where like I had his childhood picture in my car, like on my little dashboard, and he got mad at me because of the situation that happened. I had dropped my friend off somewhere and he was sitting in his car watching, and he seen me pulling back into my apartment complex, and he thought I was lying about where I was going and all this other stuff. So I lied to him and told him like, nah, I was just going to do this or going to do, because I knew if he knew that I was going to pick up, if I said I wanted to go pick up somebody from my friend, he was going to automatically think, like, he was like gaslighting me the entire time, y'all. Like I was just so scared to like even like tell him the truth about anything, because I thought he was going to trip about every single thing. So now I'm sitting right here thinking I gotta lie, and I'm scared of him. He controlling me, telling me what to do, what I can do, what I can't do, what I should wear, what I shouldn't wear, and like he was really controlling me. And me being the dumb delusional girl I was, listening to him. Girl, you can't pay me to listen to no, don't. Anyway, but he ended up taking his childhood picture and like ripping it up, and I literally had a mental breakdown. I cried right in front of his face. He ripped it up in front of my face and threw it on the ground. I was like, why would you do that? I'm just sitting there crying. He looking at me like, girl, like, is you okay? I'm like, Michaela, this is my picture. Why are you mad? Because I wanted it in my car. And I'm crying. Y'all, love. Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit had me so crazy. And it was also to the point where like I was lying to him because I was trying to maneuver my way out of certain situations so he wouldn't yell at me or like get mad at me, to the point where one day he ended up getting a car with me and he took his gun into the car, and I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? And he asking me questions, and you know, of course I'm lying. He was asking me the question about picking somebody up, and like I'm like, yeah, like I just had to go do this, go do that, because if he knew I went to go pick up a boy from my friend, he was going to automatically think I went to go see a dude. If a dude was mentioned, he was going to automatically say I was doing something with somebody. So then he was like, no, you wasn't. And that's why I brought this gun in this car right now, because I knew you was going to play with me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and he like, Michaela, go pump the gas. He like, matter of fact, give me the money. I'm finna go pay for it. You finna go pump this gas and you finna leave me the fuck alone. You finna drop me off back to where I was at. And I'm like, come back for part two. Come back for part two. Bro, like, oh my gosh, she finna leave me alone. Now I'm having like a panic attack in the car while he's inside of the gas station paying for the gas. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. Then it came to a point where he gets back in the car or whatever, and we're driving and we're just quiet the whole way, and I'm trying to explain to him, I'm like, dude, like, okay, let me tell you the truth. And he, no, I don't want to hear the truth, you already lied to me, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, now my heart is pounding so hard, because I'm like, oh my gosh, as soon as he get out of my car, he gonna try to leave. So like, I'm sitting here and I'm panicking on the inside, and I'm trying to do everything in my power so he won't leave me alone. It's sad, it really is. And like, I know people gonna say like, oh, it could just be a soul tie and all this other stuff. Baby, I was delusional like this before we even did anything. Before. That's how I know it wasn't no soul tie. It was before all of this. But we finally get back to my apartment complex, and like we sitting there, and like now we're arguing, and this is the second time I get on my knees and I'm begging him again, and he just don't care. Now around this time, I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very vulnerable because my dad did pass away and all this other stuff. And speaking of my dad passing away, he was, I'm gonna just put out there, he was cheating on me whenever I went to Chicago for my dad's funeral. I'm just put it out there, I really don't care, because he definitely was. And he was showing me some drama somebody had made up about me and was sending me the messages while I was at my dad's freaking funeral, while I'm down there. I'm grieving right now, and you trying to show me drama from your ex-girlfriend? Be for real. I just can't believe anyways, I'm uprooting some trauma up in here for real. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. Okay. But yeah, like I said, I'm on my knees, I'm begging. So then it gets to a point where like all hell is breaking loose everywhere in my life. Everything is just so fucked up. My dad died. The boy that I want and did the spell on is backfiring on me, because now I want him even more, and it seems like he want me less. My cousin and my best friend is literally arguing in the same apartment that we all live in. My cousin friend was in there arguing too. My mama is mad at my grandma, mad at my auntie, my cousin mad at everybody, just mad. Everybody just on my back. It was so much. I was in such a bad mental space, so I just broke. And I was like, look, I can't do this no more. And I moved back with my mama. And in the process of me moving back with my mother, he was still on my mind 24/7. And after all of that, after all the dirty things that he did to me, after all of that, while I was at I forgot to mention, I was at my apartment complex. I got my windows, my side mirrors busted out by his ex-girlfriend. I don't even know if they was together or not together. I don't know. Like, he was with me sometimes and then with her and then with both of us. So I don't know. It was all over the place. But I got my side mirrors busted. She got keyed my car. It was just crazy. So I moved back in with my mother, and upon me moving back in with my mom, this is when it like really took a hold of me, because I could not see him anymore. I could not be with him anymore. My mama was like, absolutely not, Michaela. We not playing it. Like, you finna get your shit together. So me trying to get my shit together, I can't stop thinking about him. My room, y'all. My room. I'm a firm believer in whatever your room looks like shows what your headspace look like, okay? Let me show you. And before I show this picture, I just want to put out this little disclaimer. Don't ever try to come for me in the comments or try to use this if you know me personally, because at the end of the day, we all go through those depression stages where we can't even clean up our room. And I'm a firm believer in, I'm going to speak my truth in whatever. I just want to put it out here because I know some people who know me personally who going to try to throw this in my face. So don't ever play with me. For real. But when you're in the bad mental state, nothing around you is going to be clean. I don't care what nobody say. Plus, I was smoking and drinking back to back. Y'all, I was going through it. Okay, so this is my bedroom. Like, just stuff everywhere. And I've never been a slob. My room has always been clean. Like, I've never played about my space. Ever. So, like, for my room to be like this really shows a whole lot. And this is my bathroom. It was just stuff everywhere. It's like when I look back at stuff like this, it really just breaks my heart, bro. Like, it breaks my heart so bad because it really backfired on me. And just to show y'all, I don't play about my room. Like, my space, clean. So don't come for me. But, like, it was so overwhelming for me. And, like, even my brother and sister just knew. Like, nobody ever said anything to me. My mom never said anything to me, too. But I could just look on their faces and they can tell, like, something ain't right. Like, Michaela ain't never had her room like this. Like, this is ridiculous. But it's like, in that moment, I really kind of felt some type of way because my mama, like, really didn't talk to me. But we ain't gonna get into it. But it kind of made me feel some type of way and made me a little bit more sadder because it's like, Ma, you see my room, you know I don't live like this. You know this is not me. Like, why are you not talking to me? You feel me? Like, I was going through so much, and I just needed my mama at the moment. But yeah, so then I was just consuming myself, like I said, with alcohol and weed as much as I could, trying to make myself feel better, trying to get up and like do my hair, do makeup, put some mascara on, trying taking pictures even though my room was a mess. Like, was just trying everything, every single thing to get myself back together. And you know what's so crazy is I started calling out to God, because I'm like, you know what, in the beginning when this all happened and like he first broke my heart, I literally called out to God and I asked God for just peace so I can go to sleep, because he was on my mind 24/7, and God gave me peace. So I remembered that. And then one day I was in my room, listen, because this is crazy, I was in my room and I was high as a kite, okay y'all, and I'm sitting there and I'm just zoned out, and then I can hear whispering. So like now I'm looking around the room and I'm like, yo, what's going on? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, my brother and sister is asleep, they got school in the morning. What's going on? Who's talking? My mama is downstairs. So I'm hearing something and then it just stopped. So now I'm looking around the room like, okay. And then I hear a voice. It was like a small, still voice. Like literally that's how I can explain it. And it's literally in the Bible too. But it was a small, still voice, and it was like, you can't hear me because you're too far away from me. And when I tell you, the tears almost started rolling down and I almost started crying. Within the next day, I was listening to this gospel song that was speaking on and it was so crazy how it just came up. Like I was listening to music on YouTube and then the song just came up. It was speaking on every single thing I was going through in the moment, and I just started bawling my eyes out, crying. And then I started watching the lady who played in War Room, Priscilla. I started watching her on YouTube and stuff, and everything she was speaking to my heart. Like I needed, like I was feeling tingles and chills in my body. Then I went on Amazon, I bought this book, all of that. And I say all that to say, because the only way I got out of this, and let me tell y'all, I don't care what nobody say, okay? I'm gonna turn on my pastor, okay? Because we might have a part 3, because y'all gonna listen to this, all right? I know I be cussing, I be doing all that, like I be listening to secular music sometimes too. I get it, I understand, but I'm on a journey as well, and I'm trying to, you know, make my life better, because I'm a completely different person than I was back then. The person I was just talking to y'all about, I'm not her no more. Like I'm a completely different person, and it was only because of God. And let me tell you the situation that happened. This is a whole other story, but we're just gonna let it fall into, because it wraps with it all, and it just shows how good God is at the end of the day. Like I said, I bought this book or whatever, and then I cleaned up my entire bathroom, y'all. Cleaned up my entire bathroom. My room was still a mess, but I cleaned up my entire bathroom and I made it into a war room where I started putting prayers and everything on the wall. I'm gonna go show y'all. I'm gonna go into the bathroom because it's still up right. This is my brother's bathroom now, but like I said, it's my brother's bathroom right now, but like the prayers and stuff are still, because I moved out again and then he ended up moving into my room and stuff. But during the time when it was my room, that was the only space in my area, like in my room, that was clean, the bathroom. And that's because I was literally listening to my worship music and I was cleaning at the same time. And it was so hard for me to clean if I did not have my worship music playing in my ears. If they were not playing, I had no energy. I could not do it. Something was just holding me back. So I finally cleaned it all up and I turned the bathroom into a war room where I go in there and I start praising God and seeking God and writing prayers and praying to God and just asking God to deliver me from whatever it is I need to get deliverance from. Because at that point, he just got so far out of my mind, I wasn't even worried about him no more. It was like, I'm not gonna lie, he was popping up in my head every now and then, but like my main focus was just this depression. And that's, like I said, that's the gateway to all of this stuff. That's the gateway. That's how you let the devil into your life, y'all, okay? So then once the bathroom was clean, my room was still a mess. So after the bathroom was clean that same night, I went into that bathroom and I took a shower. I went into the bathroom afterwards and like I was reading my Bible and I was just reading stuff. And then like I was recording myself also. And then out of nowhere, like I see a globe or like it looked kind of like dust flying across the camera. And like instantly I just felt like I would just have the urge to just listen to worship music.